Hello everybody, my name's Rhett. I want to talk to you a little bit about a conversation that happened in the hallway at work this week. I want to talk to you about the face of Jesus. So to talk to you about the face of Jesus, I went to Google and I wanted to show you some of the faces of Jesus. Some of these images are a little bit older. Some of them have been made a little bit more recently. Some of these are a little bit more traditional, and while some of them are far from traditional at all. Some are even recreations of what scholars think Jesus would have really looked like based off the time period and the location in which Jesus was born and lived. But something stuck out to me. While you can find pictures of Jesus smiling, just like this one, most of the time if Jesus had any emotion at all in these images, it was a very somber, set tone. You see, the way that we see Jesus is very important. And the early Christians, the early church leaders got together and wanted to talk about how do they see Jesus. And so in the Athanasian Creed, they said that Jesus was completely God and he was completely human, which was very important for the time because a lot of people had a lot of different thoughts. Some people said, you know what? Jesus has the body of a human, but the soul of God. While other people said, no, he's got the body of a God, but the soul of a human. The early Christian leaders got together and talked about that because they said neither of those are right. They both cut down on the fullness of what Jesus really was. Jesus was and still is completely God and completely human. Now, I don't know a lot about being a God. I do know a little bit, I like to think, about being a human. And I know a little bit how human works. When we look at those pictures and those images of Jesus, we literally start to paint Jesus into a corner. And when we think about Jesus, that's where our mind goes to. When we think about Jesus, that's the representation we see of Jesus. But Jesus was so much more than that. We see that Jesus was around children a lot. And I tell you what, when children get together, they play. And have a hard time imagining Jesus didn't jump in and play with the kids. I imagine that Jesus was a fantastic joke teller and he could have a room laughing and rolling. I know that Jesus had hobbies that he enjoyed because he was fully human and came down and was one of us. You see, in the very last verse, in the very last chapter of John 21, verse 25, it says, Jesus did many other things as well. If every one of them were written down, I suppose that even the whole world would not have room for the books that would have been written. Jesus lived a life just like me and you. Jesus was sent to earth by his Father to become completely human, to interact, to become one of us, to be like us, so that he could carry us and take us back home. That invitation and that offer still stands. The very character of Jesus, being fully God and fully human, wrapped around you in love. I pray that we can turn towards Jesus. I pray that we see Jesus for what he was, one of us, who's going to take us, because he still is fully God, to something better. I hope to see you real soon, but until then, so long.